Welcome back to the Garena Premier League 2015 spring season, week 2, game 2, day 2, week 2 of this GPL. My name, of course, is GS Sneep, and I'm here along with
GS Aserai with an I. And wow, that game one Neep super amazing. I mean, the first blood did go to Diamond's favor, but then, like I've said again, the amazing rotations coming in from JLC and the map control coming out of them was just that good that Team Diamond weren't able to get any objectives from themselves. And of course, I guess JLC snowballed so early into the game that when Nage was trying to get those good engages for themselves, he was just that fat.
Yeah, so Nage trying to do his best to carry the game. However, JLC did come up ahead. Ethan had a really strong early game. However, we're in the champ select phase, so
yeah, this is game 2 of a 1 versus 2 games. Best of 2 series right now. Will War Gods continue their rampage into this this game, or will Diamond be able to turn the tides of battle and set the scores the same?
It looks like the same bans are coming out from both sides.
So respect bans overall there coming out of these two teams. Again, the ban onto Shura's Fiddlesticks, and the Corki ban and the Lee Sin ban coming out of Team Diamond. Yet again, they don't want skill getting that. You might do those sneaky bans coming out of the Lee Sin. Of course, that kick is such a good pick and reposition tool that he's a very scary jungler even in this new meta.
Yeah, so it looks like another same bans from last game. Nar once again banned out by War Gods.
Yes, but this time it is Diamond's how do you say his first pick right now.
Diamond does have first pick.
So prediction wise, who do you think that Diamond will try to pick off for their first?
It'll probably be Lissandra, because last game we did see War Gods did pick up Lissandra first pick. However, this game it might be Diamond who are the ones that pick up Lissandra as their first pick. Might go in the mid lane, might go in the top lane. Most likely it will go top lane if Diamond does decide to pick it up. However, it is banned, so that's
okay. We were talking a lot about them, but then banned. That's bad. Alright, so it might I feel they might try to opt for either an Ahri or actually a Syndra, because those two champions for the mid lane are actually, how do you say this, they're game-changing champions. I mean, Ahri has a lot of burst, of course, coming out, the charm, amplified damage from it, then of course her mobility gets her around clashes a lot, and of course Lissandra is an OP champion in the mid lane, and of course Team Diamond goes for the LeBlanc.
Yeah, so LeBlanc just being such a really strong mid laner at the moment, really good assassination coming in with that LeBlanc pick, and the damage is really hard to deal with.
Alright, because Achi, of course, in game 1 was very successful with the LeBlanc. I mean, the burst coming out of him is insane. And of course, she was buffed a few patches ago that her passive right now, before they clone out, they go invisible first, so she can try to juke out with that. But now, JLC and Skill might go in for that Lucian and Maokai picks. So
yeah, the Lucian once again coming in for VYY. VYY had a pretty successful game coming in with that Lucian in game 1. He had a really strong start. I believe he was 2-0 around the 10-minute mark after that bot lane gank. So once again picking up that Lucian, looking for that solid performance.
Of course, Maokai is a very good top lane because he's tanky. He has damage reduction. Of course, his CC is incredible as well. So overall, he's like the utility type of support top lane that most teams want when they're trying to go in very aggressive, because they want that front liner for them.
So it looks like Diamond is adjusting to that War God playstyle last game. Like we said earlier, the thing about Diamond is that they were missing sustained damage with their team comp last game. It looks like Caitlyn will be a really good addition to provide that sustained damage. And we also have that Janna coming in for Shura, which will provide that disengage. We did see that War Gods had tons of ways to get the pick, and Janna is a really good response to this pick potential by having that Monsoon, having the Howling Gale as a way to disengage.
Yeah, also the shield coming out of Janna puts a lot of bonus 80 damage onto Caitlyn, so she can harass and soak up a little bit of damage from using the shield.
So it looks like Diamond is trying to go for a more dominant laning phase rather than last game where they try to go for a more safer thing. So wow,
alright, so alright, so probably for the support of Team War Gods, I think they might opt for a, actually I was gonna say Nami, but Thresh is actually a good support coming out of this. But
don't fix what's not broken, like they say.
But though they do lock in the Thresh, but there is a little bit of let's just say I've been saying before in the previous matches that range does beat melee in the start of the game, but this is a 2 versus 2 in the bot lane, so I'm not sure how this pans out in terms of synchronizations. I mean, if Thresh could land in a good hook, it might be on Shura, that might force the flash out of him or get a kill for War Gods. But of course, if they get like if Shura gets a disengage with the Howling Gale, and possibly a Caitlyn Trap or a Caitlyn Piltover Peacemaker, that's gonna put a lot of damage onto the Thresh.
Yes, so this will pretty much come down to a skill matchup in that bot lane. Which bot lane has better synergy, which has better mechanics, so it'll be really interesting to see.
So it's a battle of the bot lanes. Alright, ooh! You can see right now that Eben might try to get in.
Yes, Teemo jungle.
Okay, Teemo jungle, guys. The new meta. It might be a top lane Nidalee. I'm not sure if he would opt for the AD or AP, but as for the previous games, I haven't seen AP Nidalee do so well in that top lane.
Yeah,
so it might be AD against a Maokai, of course. I mean, Blaze of the Ruby King Nidalee might be able to burst him down because Maokai is a, is high HP champion.
I really hope that's a Teemo locked in. Then it'd have to be a Teemo jungle or a Teemo top.
Yeah, Teemo. Oh, actually, that might not be bad because Teemo has a lot of let's just say annoying abilities with his blinding dart,
yes.
and of course those shoes. What?
So yeah, it's a
we're sad right now.
Yeah, but
we're sad.
Once again, really good disengage coming in for that Diamond team comp. So they do have a lot of poke, so they can poke down the enemy. So with the Diamond team comp, they can poke down the enemy team with the Piltover Peacemakers from Caitlyn, the long range from Caitlyn, as well as the Nidalee Spears from Nidalee Ethan, and then they can disengage whenever War Gods tries to come in with the Monsoon and with the Crescent Sweep coming in from Xin Zhao, and they do have that damage. They do have that burst damage with that LeBlanc. So I really like the Diamond team comp coming into the game too.
Yeah. Also, again, the picks for Team War Gods is similar to the game before.
Yes.
I mean, there's BYY getting again his Lucian, and of course stronger with the Thresh. I mean, I think they should have just tried to ban out the
it's also
Lucian's
Wukong coming in again, and actually,
oh yeah, for skill, yeah,
it's
Wukong.
probably if
there's the Syndra. That might be the pick for them. Syndra's a very strong mid game champion. Like I said, the CC, that long range CC with the Dark Sphere into the Scatter the Weak.
Yeah. So
of course the Unleash the Power, of course, was there.
So yeah, I bet like if Diamond didn't ban out the champions from game 1 or take the champions from game 1, War Gods would have probably went with the same strategy, because we do see that aside from the Maokai, which was aside from the Sandra, which was banned out by Diamond, and the LeBlanc, which was taken by Diamond, this lineup is similar. So if they didn't do that, it probably would have been the same team comp coming in from War Gods, which was pretty effective game 1.
Actually, I like this counter pick Syndra from Team War Gods because they saw that Team Diamond got that Xin Zhao jungler, and of course you know that Xin Zhao is able to use his ultimate to how to say this like disrupt the positionings from Team War Gods, but he got the Syndra. So that means when Xin Zhao tries to go in, he gets the stun and then gets bursted down, and then there's no more how to say this. There's no jungler to peel for them, but they do have the how to say it's the Janna, but I'm not sure. I mean, there's the follow up from the Thresh there, and of course without of course there's the follow up of course from the Wukong and the Maokai. So I'm not sure how this pans out, but that was a really nice pick coming out of War Gods. They didn't opt for someone who would try to go in, burst down someone like a LeBlanc or let's say a Talon mid, but they got a Syndra who could try to like I've said, reposition for their team. So sorry about that.
So yeah, like you said earlier, Syndra is actually a really strong counter to this Diamond team comp. Also, in addition to what you said earlier, being able to burst down the Xin Zhao, it also provides another way of initiation, another way of pick for the Diamond War Gods team. So the Dark Sphere Scatter the Weak combo is able to stun up the Diamond team from a really far distance, which allows the War Gods team to come in with the Maokai, with the Wukong, with the Thresh. So really good pickup coming in from War Gods.
Or you could opt for something like I've seen like some players with Syndra players do this. Like they would hide in the brush, ward over that brush, and then Dark Sphere, and then Scatter the Weak, and that's a pick already for them.
That's already a pick.
But of course, in Team Diamond side, we do of course have that Nidalee, which is a monster split pusher. I mean, wow,
So,
the amount of
yes.
split push that he can do
So-
if she's able to stay in that top lane uncontested is incredible.
It's actually pretty interesting how Diamond has gone from a full AoE team comp into a split poke team comp. It's like from one end of the spectrum to the other. So really great diversity coming in from that Diamond team, being able to adjust to different strategies.
Yeah, so they're trying to do some different strategies to try
Yes.
and maneuver over what War Gods has already how do you say this initiated. Like War Gods already initiates that they have the fight potential, so they want to work around that with a split push potential.
So
Right.
yeah, it looks like the game objective of Diamond will be Ethan will be splitting that top lane, and they will have Eben can actually split the mid lane, so they'll probably be going for a 1-4 type of comp. So Ethan in the top lane, the rest 4 of them in that mid lane. So Nage can try to get for a pick, and if ever War Gods tries to engage, they do have that Syndra to disengage, and they do have Shura to disengage, and meanwhile Ethan will be able to get those turrets. So really good comp coming in from
Yeah,
Diamond.
so what
I
you're
really
saying,
like it.
yeah. So what you're saying right now is the most important part of the early game is who snowballs faster in the top lane. Because if Maokai is able to snowball in that top lane, I mean he's a beast. He's
Yes.
a tank. He can defend Sieges all day because he can soak up so much damage coming in, of course, from his vengeful Maelstrom, of course.
And
wow.
Nidalee is a spammy character. Pounce, takedown, swipe are all pretty low cooldown skills. So Maokai will be able to spam his passive and pretty much heal up any damage that Nidalee does. However, Nidalee's burst is something you shouldn't underestimate. It's really strong, and don't be
afraid.
yeah, don't be afraid
Afraid
once
of
you see Nidalee
Yeah.
come out ahead from this Maokai.
Yeah.
Nidalee is pretty scary, even though she hasn't been played that much.
Yeah, of course. Of course, there's also a lot of kit coming out of Nidalee. I mean, most players, I guess, won't know this, but Nidalee's traps don't just give you vision and do a little bit of damage. They reduce your armor and magic resist, I believe.
Yes.
So that actually gives Nidalee a lot of let's say power over you. And now we are going into the Rift, guys.
So
No-
yes, this is
Enough
once
talk.
again.
Let's get into the action.
Yes, this is the Garena Premier League 2015 spring season, and this is Game 2 of War Gods Carrying the Skies
Versus GameX War Gods.
yes versus GameX
Yes.
War Gods, the sister teams duking it out in the
Yes.
Garena Premier League.
Yes, again, will War Gods be able to get that 2-0, or will Diamond be able to win this game for themselves? And now we are into the Rift.
So yes, it looks like both teams do have pretty standard items coming in from both sides, nothing out of the ordinary. So it looks like will War Gods actually go for that invade once again? Looks like Diamond is wary of that, and they are doing taking more precautionary measures to ensure that the invade does not happen.
Yes. You see right now that Caitlyn hasn't gotten any of her skills just yet, so I think she's just waiting for an early invade, and then if that happens, she's just gonna do that 90 caliber over the wall to save her flash, or just use those traps to at least catch someone out and then put a little bit of damage onto them.
Yes, and
Ooh. See right now that skill did get a little bit of poke coming out of I believe Nage I believe Shura in that bot lane. So she got a little bit of gold from that.
so yeah, we do see
Right, for the vision, we do see that Diamond has warded their nearer jungler entrances. As for Team War Gods, the same. They do got that a little bit of a better vision coming out of the river. That's about it. I can see right now that both junglers will start off in the bottom area.
this actually will be a lane swap coming in from War Gods. That will be a Thresh and Lucian coming in
Okay.
against Ethan, trying to shut down Nidalee. Like we established earlier, Nidalee is a lane bully, has lots of early game damage, and War Gods just wants to shut this down.
Okay,
And
so we didn't actually predict the lane
Yes.
swap because it's not
Yeah.
the orthodox thing to do with PH meta right now, but this is actually a nice strategy coming out of War Gods because they know that Ethan with a Nidalee can push out JLC.
and something I really like is that
Oh, JLC.
JLP actually took
got
the
the
raids.
Raptors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got the Raptors
So that's
to
gonna
make
give
sure
him-
he doesn't get too far behind in lane.
Yeah. So that was actually a good tactic coming out of War Gods, and here comes the engage onto Ethan by Stronger and DYY. There comes a fling, forces to flash out of there. There's the hook, but I guess that was a necessary hook. Ooh, skill a little bit too low from that.
So, yeah.
I guess he wasn't leashed by his members, but even though that happened, that was already a force flash coming out of Ethan, and he's going to have to use his teleport to get back into the game. And wow, nice scatter beat there from Ochi. Disrupts the what is that? The disruption. The dash of distortion. Oh my gosh, I got the tongue twister there. Sorry. Yes. All right, but again, nice mechanics coming out of Ochi there with the Syndra. All right, you can see right now that Meme will be contested here with Stronger. Right now that Shura is putting a little bit of damage onto JLC, but JLC is getting that good amount of farm with the saplings. There we go.
So yeah, JLC will be able to farm up pretty safely with the sapling toss, while meanwhile Nidalee a bit more struggle. He will struggle a bit more in this lane as he does not really have that many reliable ways to farm. Should have to rely on farming under tower and soaking EXP.
Yeah, and Ethan again opted to go for that AP type of Nidalee. So this means that if it was an AD type of Nidalee under the turret, it would be easier to get those under the turret CS. But now that she's AP, that might there's a damage coming out of skill onto Meme, but the Ethereal. There we go. Right, the snare did hit the clone right there, and the damage comes out of Ochi immediately to help his jungler in the clash.
Yeah, I just want to touch up on that Nidalee AP that you mentioned. So Diamond, like I said earlier, is going for that split push poke comp. They want to get the siege under turret, and they just want to keep on poking them out while disengaging if a full fight breaks out. So AP Nidalee is much more effective at poking compared to AD Nidalee.
Yeah, but I guess they wanted to try and go for that thing, like I've said, the split push type, and
yes, AD would be more optimal for that split push. However,
yeah, split push. Yeah,
however, based on the AP Nidalee, it looks like they'll be going for like a 5-man mid, while they have Piltover Peacemakers and Spears coming in from Nidalee and Caitlyn. Then just whittle them down and then just take the turret or take a pick with the
there's a lot of damage onto Nage. Will this be the first blood? No. Force the flash onto himself there. Nice. Again, nice poke coming out of Ochi.
Something I want to point out is look at the CS. Yeah, look at the CS of Maokai. It's 26. That's actually as high as LeBlanc in Nage's CS. So even though it's a 1v2 lane, the power of the saplings, the power of the Q from Maokai, he's able to farm under turret with the heavy pressure. And actually, this is actually really surprising. Caitlyn Janna is a really strong lane bully lane. I'm actually surprised that they're allowing this to happen for JLC.
Yeah, even though if they like you said allow this to happen, they can't do anything about it because Maokai has the saplings for the long range last hitting. That was actually a nice play there coming out of War Gods to, how do I say this, bait out Ethan's Nidalee right there.
Yes, however, despite this, despite the Maokai being able to farm in the turret, I feel like Caitlyn and Janna should be doing a better job of making sure Maokai gets punished for taking CS, gets low, gets taken down to half HP or even less.
Skill is in the bot lane right there, but now there's a simultaneous gank on the top lane by Meme, and already disengage coming out there. There's Skill. Will he try to do something? No, he will not be able to.
So yeah, it looks like War Gods taking the early advantage. It's currently 8k in favor of War Gods, and this all comes down to the CS. If we look in the mid lane, there's almost a 20 CS advantage.
Ooh, what a nice hook coming out Stronger. Will this be the first blood? Yes, it will be. That was the first blood for VYY. And here comes Ochi yet again onto Nage. Will he be putting the damage onto him? There's the distortion out of Nage.
So yeah,
what a nice hook from Stronger.
Yeah, Stronger's been dominant all game. Even in game 1, we saw a bunch of good hooks coming out from him, and this is just another example of why Stronger decided to play that Thresh. Stronger's Thresh really good.
Yeah, they should have opted to try ban that because, yeah, I mean, I guess we should just say that Diamonds wasn't able to foresee this gap, and now you can see that Meme and Nage will try to go in on this. There's the ultimate coming out of Ochi, and now Skill in the backline will go on to Nage. There, there's the counter engage from Shura, and Meme will try to get out of this damage. But whoa, there was Ethan with the teleport, I believe, to try and counter engage, but the damage has been done.
So yeah, that was a pretty poor counter engage coming in from Diamond. They didn't really get anything out of that. That was 4 members of Diamond, but they still weren't able to get a kill onto Ochi or get a kill onto Skill.
Yeah,
but
and with that, let's say, respawn coming out of Ethan, They got the top lane. War Gods got the top lane.
But like you said earlier, didn't you see that when Syndra walked in, when Meme walked into Syndra, he got bursted really low. So like you said earlier, in that champion select phase, whenever Syndra tries to initiate, Syndra will be there to use his Scatter the Weak, to use his Unleash power and just burst Syndra out before he gets a chance to do anything.
Yeah, it was actually, let's say, over-aggressive play coming out of Meme. He went in and tried to knock him up inside the tower's range. And that actually was a bad idea because it forced the Meme to take a lot of damage when he got stunned.
Yeah, and we do see that they have swapped lanes back. JLC is actually in the top lane again, and they left VYY in that bot lane to farm solo. So
yeah, so this is like one of the old school, let's say a season 4, actually old school swap lanes. Like get your weaker but better farming top lane against their duo bot, enemy's duo bot, and then just fend off against a stronger top laner from the enemy team with the duo, and just let him lose his CS. And that's what's happening again onto Ethan. Oh, that was a missed hook coming out of Stronger, so that's like a let's just say that was the 4 out of 5 hooks coming out of Stronger right now.
So pretty it's pretty not really that surprising.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Meme is here. It's not spotted by the ward. Stronger might get caught out here. There's the slow coming out. Sure, there's the hot knock up. Force the flash out of Stronger. And there's the knock up again. Will they get the kill? And the kill goes on to Evan. But now Meme super low right now. Will he die? No, he will not. It's a little bit too tanky. But that was a nice clash coming out
really
of
good gank by Meme.
Sorry, Diamonds.
Yes, Diamonds. However, Stronger wasn't level 6 yet, so he wasn't able to use his box as a disengage. It was pretty unfortunate that that did happen. However, in the end, we do see that the gold advantage is still in favor of War Gods, despite that gank onto Stronger.
This is actually a nice ward coverage coming out of War Gods. And ooh, Evan might try to get the steal there, but the follow-up, here's Nage, here's Meme, here's Ethan, and there's Ochi in the backline. Will they be able to burst down? Whoa, Nage bursts down skill immediately. Will he be able? Whoa, there's the explosion coming out of the vengeful Maelstrom. But JLC might die to this. Gets the double kill onto Nage. Now Ochi is in trouble right now. Will Nage get the triple kill?
Yes.
Yes, he does. Wow.
So yes, Diamond being able to turn this game around. This is now 3 kills onto Nage. This is really huge for the Diamond team. LeBlanc, once she gets a couple kills onto her initially, she becomes a monster in that mid game. She's able to snowball really well with the items. She scales really well with items. And this is bad news for War Gods. However, like earlier, this is kind of similar to what happened in game 1 actually. Diamond was able to get a bit of an advantage in that early game. However, in the end, War Gods did come back.
Skill might get caught out of this. Yes. Ooh, what was that? He's just trying to check, get the Raptors. Okay, I thought he was like lagging or something. But nice there. He got the steal onto the Raptors.
So yeah, with that, Nage should be able to pick up his
Meme is here in the bot lane. Will he get the gank onto BYY and Stronger? He will try to use his ultimate to push him back. No, he will not. There's a flash.
Cancel the teleport
there. Ooh, nice disengage there. Does get the trap onto him and also the ultimate. They were afraid of how tanky Maokai is right now. Oh, sorry, JLC is right now. Wow.
This should be a dragon for War Gods. I was actually pretty scared for that JLC teleport. I was afraid that he might have got initiated on and get picked, but it's Maokai, really tanky.
Yeah, oh, and with this build, he's gonna get the Righteous Glory. That's the new item for the Pre-Season 5 right now. It's like Randuin's combined with a Talisman of Ascension, basically. Oh, here's engage onto Nage. Nage getting a lot of damage onto himself. Whoa, there's someone coming out of Shura. Nice skill coming out of it. Now skill, will he die? Yes, Nage gets the kill onto skill right there. But now the follow-up is going onto them. There's Shura. Gets the double kill. Ochi gets the double kill, and now Eben will force the flash out of him. Flashes over that wall, and now Eben, will he get stunned? There's the stun onto him. There's the follow-up. Will he die to BYY? Yes, he will. Wow.
So yeah, that was a really good team fight coming in from
so tanky right
Yeah,
now.
that JLC Maokai pair tanking up everything. He's actually at full HP despite all of that, being in the center of the fight. But
I think he leveled up and activated Catalyst Protector. Yeah, but that just means that he's just so tanky right now. Whoa, might get a pick onto Eben or Meme. Will they try to get into this? Ooh, he gets the steal onto the dragon. What a steal there from Meme! But gives the kill onto Ochi yet again.
However, that's worth.
Ooh,
Definitely.
but Naga is here, gonna try to get that revenge kill for him, but no.
It's pretty funny that team
Wow.
fight, because like in game 1, if Diamond had that game 1 team comp, that fight would have gone in favor of Diamond without a doubt. However, the moment they switch to a different team comp, they get faced into a situation that's pretty unideal for this Diamond team comp. The Diamond team comp, like we said earlier, is a split push disengage comp. Really bad in these 5v5 clashes and not what Diamond wanted.
Yeah, as you can see now for both mid laners, Nage opting for the Morellonomicon and Ochi going in for the Athene's Unholy Grail. So let's just say that in teams of item composition, misses the hook there by Stronger. In terms of the the item compositions for both mid laners, it's just that the Morellonomicon is, let's possibly say, a cheaper and more AP heavy item than Athene's Unholy Grail. At the same time, Athene's Unholy Grail now is like the defensive Morellonomicon.
Yes,
there we go.
It is a LeBlanc. LeBlanc is a much more aggressive champion compared to
Whoa,
Syndra.
he misses the flay right there. Now gets the hook onto Eben. Will Eben die to this? There's no mana on there from DIY. There's Meme in the side, but gets spotted up by the ward.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. There's a lot of clashes coming out in this game right now. Wow.
So yeah, Meme was spotted, wasn't able to get that gank, and War Gods was able to just back off immediately. Really good ward coverage actually coming in from War Gods. They have wards throughout the river. It was really strong earlier, however, a lot of the wards have expired, and yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a lot of defensive wards coming out of Diamond.
That's actually what Diamond
Ooh,
needs.
there's the hook again onto Eben. Where's the follow-up? Nice Matsu coming out of Shura. Now Stronger is in a bad position right now. He will die to Nage. And now Skill will get bursted down. That's a 2-for-0. Will it be a 3-for-0? There's JLC in the sideline. Will he be able to save BYY? BYY trying to do what he can to try and damage Nage, but he dies and gives Nage the double kill.
That was an amazing Monsoon by Shura. That's the reason why Diamond won that team fight without a doubt. If that Monsoon didn't come in, that would have been pretty much a free win for Diamond, and that was a pretty good response coming in from Ethan. Ethan's teleport was actually spot on this time compared to JLC, who was lagging behind.
Ooh, JLC might get caught up. There are 4 members of War God Diamond here. Gets knocked up onto him. He's really low right now, half HP, but Vengeful Maelstrom is there tanking the damage. But while that was happening, Ochi was able to get the mid-tier 1 turret. So I'm not sure who got the better of that. I mean, they did get the kill on. That was like a 2-4-0 exchange, I believe.
However, the thing to point out about that team fight is look at where the kills went to. The kills all went to Nage. Nage is now 6-1-1, has picked up the needlessly long rod, which is huge for this Diamond team. Nage is gonna be such a big threat in the late game, in the mid game, and this is bad news for War Gods, as eventually Nage will get to the point where she'll be able to one combo BYY or one combo Ochi.
Yeah, it's very scary when the LeBlanc gets the kills. Oh, we can see right now that GameX War Gods are trying to control the jungle of Diamond right now. The warriors, as you can see, are being dewarded by War Gods. You can see right now, wow, the warding is coming out of War Gods there. They just want to ward the whole jungle of Diamond right now. They don't want any farming coming out of Diamond.
So this is actually the opposite. Diamond has a really strong siege team comp, however, they're the ones getting sieged on by War Gods. Pretty ironic, actually.
Yeah, but though it did occur because War Gods did opt for that lane swap in the early game.
Yes, that lane swap definitely paid its dividends for that Diamond team.
Yeah, you can see right now, Skill and Meme will have a standoff for this Blue Sentinel. Who will get the last smite? Oh, Nage might go on to Stronger. There's a nice hook coming out Stronger. Here's Ochi and Skill. Will they be able to get the kill on him? Ooh, nice disengage coming out, the ultimate coming out from me. And there's the Howling Gale from Shura.
So yeah, that's pretty much the Diamond strategy right now. Get a pick onto Nage and then disengage whenever War Gods tries to engage on you.
Shura forced to use his ultimate there to disengage on the Stronger, but there's a stun onto Meme. Meme's a bit taggy right now. There's JLC with the pick and the ultimate coming out of Ochi. Gives him the easy pick.
So yeah, like we said earlier in Champ Scene, Syndra is such a really good champion for a counter to this Diamond comp. She has that long range stun which will enable War Gods to get the picks that they wouldn't have gotten because of the disengage from Diamond, and Diamond did use their disengage earlier, trying to run away. So yeah,
but
really
the damage is real for War Gods right now. And now with that kill, they're trying to hammer down this mid-tier 2 turret. Will they be able to get it? No, they will not. Ooh, misses the hook there from Ethan. And Nage trying to get a pick on someone from Team War Gods, but wasn't able to. Like an inch, almost there.
Despite Diamond being ahead on the kills, War Gods does have that 5k gold advantage. This is mainly due to the CS actually. Take a look at the CS, we do see that all solo lanes are up. Even the jungler and support are up in CS. And the mid lane CS is actually really huge. Despite Nage being 611, Ochi actually has more gold than Nage just because of the 50 CS. We do see that.
Almost a 1,000
gold advantage. And in the bot lane, we do see that there's also an advantage for BYY. BYY does have that. I believe that is a Zeal coming in, and
also the gold advantage is why War Gods got it, because they have 3 towers right now.
Yes,
compared to 0 towers from Diamond. Ooh, skill uses his second skill there to try and get out. Nage trying to do what he can to burst someone down. Will he get the bind there? But now stronger. And whoa, what a nice flank coming out of JLC. They gets the pick onto Nage. Nage super low right now, and BYY wasn't able to burst me while that was happening. Now, ooh, Nage is on a rampage, was able to kill skill there, but this is a 3-4-1 exchange, and that might be a 4-4-1. Will the sapling get him? No, he will not. Now Archie will try to get the pick onto Ethan. Ethan just 1 hit away from dying. What a nice find coming in from JLC.
And this is why,
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, this is why JLC is regarded as one of the best top laners in the Philippines. Beautiful teleports, game 1, game 2. Game 2, that was an amazing flank coming from JLC. No one expected it. Not even I saw that teleport coming in. Diamond didn't see that play coming in. And that enabled them to get that dragon. That is 2 dragons, I believe, for the War Gods team now. Actually, it's only 1, seeing as Meme stole the first dragon.
Yeah, Meme sacrificed himself to counter that first dragon before. Right. What's happening right now is I really like that flank move coming in from JLC. I mean, he's the tanky man. He's the disruptor master for Team War Gods right now, and he's doing his job. He's doing that, and
that vengeful Maelstrom.
Yeah, it split Diamond into 2 right there, and that gave them that 3-4-1 exchange in the clash.
Yes.
Oh, wow, you can see right now a little bit shining there.
Yes, that is the power of the Eye of the Storm, I believe that's what the shield's called.
Yes. Alright, we can see right now that gold advantage wise, it is, even though the kills act 9 to 10, there's a 5k gold advantage coming out of Team War Gods. So the kills, the towers are giving them a lot of the gold advantage right now. And you can see that before he said that Nage can burst down Ochi, well, Ochi countered that with a Zhonya's Hourglass.
Yes. So this is actually pretty bad news coming in for that Diamond team. However, do you see that Nage is actually picking up a Zhonya's Hourglass of his own? So
he wants to be a bit safer.
He wants to be safer. Ochi can probably burst down Nage as equally as well as Nage can burst down Ochi. So it's a safety precaution coming in for Nage. He's 7-1, he's the majority of Diamond's damage at this point, and he can't afford to get picked before a fight starts.
I can see that JLC and Ochi are on this mid lane trying to oh, here comes Stronger. Will he get the hook onto Eben? Eben does have Shura in the backline, but there's Nage as well. Will they be able to go? And there's the teleport coming out of Ethan. Nice hook onto Nage. Will they be able to get him 1 more hit? But that passive is just really that annoying. And here comes the follow-up from JLC and Ochi. Will they be able to get this? Meme is here in the vicinity. Why try to use the ultimate too? Wow, what a nice flash coming out of JLC. JLC is just tagging 5 members of Team Diamond right now. He won't die. He just won't die. Wow, he's a very tanky Maokai right now.
Yeah, that JLC terror coming in from that top lane. Another really good play by JLC. No one died actually that fight, and
yeah, but
it was actually I didn't like the teleport coming in from Nidalee. I felt like that wasn't optimal. Nidalee should have been split pushing. The role of Nidalee is split push turrets, force someone to come to you, duel them, kill them, and then help your team.
Or siege.
Yes, or siege with your team with the AP, and he is AP. However, Diamond hasn't been getting that many AP siege opportunities.
Also, what happened right there in the clash in the bot lane? JLC was able to like burn out a lot of the the ultimates from Team Diamond.
Yeah, all of the ultimates actually, aside from Nidalee, who doesn't have ultimate, and LeBlanc, whose ultimate's like 10 seconds, are burned. So this is enabling Morgoth to do what they want.
Might get caught out here, but JLC doesn't have his flash anymore. See right there that Spear does do a little bit of damage onto the Sentinel. Sentinel's really tanky right now. Oh, sorry, the blue Sentinel is really tanky right now.
So yeah, with that, Morgoths will be buying. I believe they have quite a bit of gold to spend after that fight. We do see all of them have roughly 1k each, and with that, they will pick up a bunch of wards, and they will probably be trying to force the turrets, maybe force Baron now at this point.
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of how Diamond can try to get back into this game, what do you think can they do to actually get back?
They need to actually siege turrets. So like this is a starting point for them. We do see that they are running a 3-2-2 right now, 3-2-0 right now, with 3 in the top lane and 2 in the mid lane. However, this is really good. So they brought the attention of the Morgoths team to that mid lane with the Caitlyn, and then this should be a free turret coming in for Diamond. So that was a pretty decent rotation.
That was a 2,000 gold spike in favor of Team Diamond. I guess Team Morgoths didn't opt to try and defend them because it's already scaling into the late game. They just want to control the vision in the jungle and get picks from there.
Tier 1 turrets aren't really important at this point into the game, but they do provide a little bit of gold. Yes.
And that might be able to...
However, because they went to the top lane, this will enable Morgoths to get those deep wards into that
Diamond
jungle.
doesn't have any vision onto this.
Someone's
There's the pick coming out of... Sure, the damage is there! Archie uses his Unleash the power.
Yeah.
His ultimate. There we go.
Unleash power.
Unleash power. There we go. I'm stunting right now because there's so many good picks coming out of Team Morgoths. Wow, that's just amazing. I mean,
yeah, Morgoths.
He face checked the brush. Never face checked the brush without any vision.
Game 1, Game 2. It's been just full of face checks, full of Morgoths, and it's not Diamond's fault. It's just Morgoths is just playing this so well.
Yeah. Ooh, skill might go on to Ethan right now. Ethan uses that 90 caliber net to disengage. Now Nage is here to help his ADR. Will they be able to get a pick right now? They will not, but why that's what's happening in the bot lane. BYY is getting free hits into this mid tier 2 turret. Now already at 50% HP, and also while that was happening, there's a monster raven at the top lane. There's a lot of while that was happening right now.
Yeah, really good rotation from Morgoths.
Oh, they're stronger, getting a bit caught out there, but he's a little bit tanky now. Nice hook onto Evan right now. Stronger will die immediately, but there's a teleport coming out. JLC, will he be able to get someone? Yes, gets the damage onto Meme. There's the ultimate. Whoa, nice ultimate there from Shura, but it pushes skill into most of the members and gets a knockup. But there was no follow-up damage from Morgoths. There was, because they were focusing onto Meme.
So yeah, despite those two disengaged methods coming in from the Janna, Shura, and the Meme Xin Zhao, that wasn't enough to save Meme from dying, and in the end this will be another dragon coming in second dragon for Morgoths. This will enable them to once again complete that split push. We've been seeing them all over the map. They usually have one person split pushing a side lane while the rest of the team is pushing the other lanes, and this dragon buff will enable them to do this better.
Oh, VYY is caught a little bit. I think he won't survive for this, but he will be able to get a catch. Ooh, Nidalee with the takedown. OP.
Yes.
OP damage.
So you do see Nidalee is actually going for a hourglass rather than more ability power. He does have the Ionian boost, which will provide cooldown reduction to spam those spears.
Ooh, but Archie is here. There are 3 members of Diamond now. Stronger catches out Shura. Will Shura die to Archie? But there's a teleport coming out of Ethan right now. Fail flash right there. Will he die? What? Wow, the damage onto Nage. Wasn't enough though.
This is bad news.
Yeah, Evan did get the shutdown kill, but now JLC and Skill will try to kill. Will try to finish up the members from Team Diamond. He does get the kill onto Shura and onto Nage, but what will happen right now? They're just really nice flash here coming out of Evan to mitigate the damage coming out of JLC. But that gives him the double kill.
Yes, that is actually a 3-for-2 in favor of Diamond, and this is probably what Diamond needs in order to get back into this game. The gold lead is now only 3k. It was at one point in the game 6k. However, this has dropped by 3k, and they will pick up that another turret. So it's only 2k at this point. So Diamond coming in back from that deficit. It looks like they will be able to come back.
I guess that was a bit of a questionable play coming out of Ochi. He was a bit too overconfident.
Ochi had no mana actually. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Ochi did have his Unleashed power available, did have the Ignite, but there was no mana for him to
follow up.
So this is the problems of the preseason. Mana regeneration did get nerfed a bit.
Oh, but actually went back up in the 4.21 patch. I think it was before 15%.
Yes, however, it is significantly reduced compared to last time.
Oh, nice damage coming out of Stronger onto Shura. Almost at 50% HP.
Just from the Thresh.
Yeah, wow. That passive, the passive from the Flay is just hurting right now onto the support of Team Diamond.
Yeah.
Ooh, BYY might get caught out of this. But nice Dark Passage did give him safety there.
Yeah, taking a look at the gold, we do see once again it's pretty in favor of War Gods. A lot of the gold are on the carries. We do see that both mid lane and AD carry are up by 1k, so not Ochi and BYY are up against their counterparts, which is pretty good for that War Gods team.
As you can see right now, both teams opted to ward near that Baron area, so this means that the Baron dance will commence in about a few short moments. It's the ritual for pro players to do the Baron dance, because it's like one of the most important things to do.
Who's
right
gonna
now.
throw first? Actually, that's the question.
Baron throws, man. Before, actually, Baron isn't as important as getting the towers, but now if you get the Baron, you get that empowered vehicle to be able to defend the base quite faster.
Diamond isn't contesting.
Yeah. Diamond will try to contest this. Will they be able to get the Baron? The Baron is already 30% HP right now. Meme isn't even near right now. This might be the fear Baron for Team War Gods. There's Meme. Archie's super low right now. One more hit by killing, but the Zoyas is there. Now Naga uses noise onto himself. Ethan gets the kill onto Archie. There's the ultimate coming out of BYY. JLC did get the kill, but wow, it's now going in favor now of Team Diamond. That was a 2-4-3 exchange, and JLC might get died to this. There's Eben and Shura and Ethan. Who will get the kill? Stay tuned.
That was an amazing crescent sweep coming from Sinjab that disrupted the entire War Gods team. 3 of them got knocked back. That was actually perfect for Diamond actually. With that crescent sweep, Ochi, BYY, and Stronger got knocked back towards the Diamond team, while the tanks JLC and Skill got knocked away. So this enabled them to get the kill, get the cleanup, and Ethan had free hit the entire time. He did have that Infinity Edge, he did have that Phantom Dancer, just doing lots of damage, lots of consistent damage onto that War Gods team.
Now, as you've said before, that was a really nice ultimate coming out of Meme. It really gave Diamond the opening for their damage dealers to kill the damage dealers of War Gods.
Yes.
Because without JLC and Skill, Archie and BYY are just sitting ducks.
Yes, however, I believe the majority of War Gods lost their Baron buff actually. I think only one person has their Baron buff left, so this is actually really good for the Diamond team. I feel like Diamond does have the upper hand at this point in the game, and they will be able to probably win.
Yeah, so I guess it was in favor in a strategy of Team Diamond to let War Gods get the Dragon buff, but at the same time they got a lot of poke out of the Baron. Sorry, the Baron buff.
So yeah, it's actually surprising that the majority of Diamond's success hasn't been from that siege, that like we said earlier, but rather from getting picks, team fights. Something that their game one, once again, it's pretty ironic. Game 1 they had a team fight comp, they weren't able to get the team fights properly, and game 2 they have more of a siege comp, yet their team fights are really strong.
This is now the new point of contention. The Dragon will be up in about 50 seconds. They are now getting the Taunty. I don't like to call it Scudder.
Yes, I call it Taunty.
Yeah, it's cuter. Oh, JLC gets the bite coming out of Nage. There's a follow-up damage from Stronger and BYY. Will this be in favor of Team War Gods? Whoa, BYY gets bursted immediately. Now JLC and Stronger gets the kill onto Nage. Now Meme is trying to run for his life. He will get the knock-up onto JLC, but there's the follow-up damage from 4 members, and
that was really good. Really good. That was
I'm breathless right now. That was, the tables have turned again.
So yeah, JLC and Skill with the amazing combo. Did you see that? The vengeful Maelstrom soaked up all of the damage coming in from Diamond, while the Cyclone just disrupted them with that stun, with that knockup, and this allowed BYY and OG to just walk around the Diamond.
Oh wow!
Walk all over. Right?
Wow, you saw that? Ochi was he got out of the turret range, when he got back, the turret was still hammering him down.
Yeah.
Turret love Ochi. the new love team. But yeah, also, even though BYY was a little bit out of position, he dealt enough damage that that Team Diamond was a little bit low from that, and Ochi was in the backline getting those free hits onto them. And now Dragon is up. Will this be the new point of contention for both teams?
This might be a tier 3 Dragon for Wargods if they're not careful.
Yes. Vision is almost similar for both teams. Will they be able to get this? This is the third Dragon if Wargods are able to get it, and second Dragon if Team Diamond are. Ooh, Dragon is low. Wow, nice fight there coming out of Skill, and now they engage yet again. Now you can see JLC is just attacking man. Wow, that was a 1-for-0 exchange already. 2-for-0 exchange. Archie getting that double kill. Now Nage, they just, whoa. JLC is just tanking so much right now. You can see right now that Ethan will die and Nage will distortion away.
Will this be a Penta?
Might be the Penta? Oh, Archie
will it be the Penta?
Oh, will it be? Well, we might see right now. But, ooh, Nage is just a little bit too slippery. It was a quadra kill?
Yeah, that was a quadra kill for Ochi, but
I wasn't. I was just paying attention to how tanky
JLC tanked up. He tanked 4 members of the Diamond team, and he managed to live for at least a good 20 seconds before he finally fell. Yeah,
he died to Evan's Piltover Peacemaker, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, that long range man. Ooh, and now Nage will try to do something, but he's super. Oh, super low right now. That was a let's say delayed Penta for Archie right now. Ooh, the damage onto Shura. Unleash power OP. Now you can see that BYY will put a lot of damage onto Meme. Gets the kill onto him. Will BYY get a double kill? No, goes to Skill. And this is a free inhibitor, bot inhibitor for Team Wargods. And I'm just, wow, the damage from Archie is mind-boggling right now.
So 5 minutes ago there was only a 2k gold advantage in favor of Wargods. However, now as we speak it's almost 10k in favor of this Wargods team. So Wargods has managed to pull itself back up. Diamond, once again, the weakness of their team fighting is showing in this comp. They did get lucky with those. They did get lucky with the monsoons and with the crescent sweeps. However,
I guess this time. Yeah, I guess what you're saying right now is that the way for Team Diamond to get back into, if they're going like for a 5v5 clash, it's what happened before in the Baron area, where Meme got that amazing crescent slash.
I believe it's
crescent sweep. Sorry, that he pushed the squishier targets in Wargods, and then pushed back their tanks. But what's happening now in the clashes is that Skill and JLC are always in the front line, soaking up the damage.
Yeah, so I totally agree with you. It's the reason why they got that lead earlier was because JLC wasn't there, Skill wasn't there, but this time along, Skill and JLC have been the ones setting the pace of the team fights, and that's letting Wargods win.
Yeah, I'm just speechless right now. JLC is the man. Dude, he's like super tanky right now. He's been tanking 4 members every clash that they can find. And now this might be a free Baron for Team Wargods. 40 seconds on that Baron right now.
So yeah, Wargods is just really dominant right now. Take a look at the turrets. We do see that there's a 4 turret advantage, 7-3 in favor of Wargods. And take a look at the CS. The mid lane, there's almost 120 CS advantage in favor of Ochi. While in that bot lane, we do see that there's a 100 CS advantage in favor of BYY, and with those, that's a huge, that's like a full item with that 100 CS gap, which is pretty big.
Very true. Also, I want to point out that Team Wargods got the bottom inhibitor of Team Diamond, and that's the best inhibitor to get if you're trying to go in for the Baron, because that's the farthest inhibitor from the Baron, and that gives them, like you see right now, the pressure on the bottom, and they're afraid of that because the super minions right now can't push into the Nexus turrets, and this is a free Baron for Team Wargods. Wow!
I'm not
What a nice
sure
play there.
how I agree. I don't think I agree with 4 members of Diamond being in that bot lane defending. You only need 1.
Yeah,
I think they should have tried. They should have tried to contest that Baron. At this point, it's how they're gonna win.
Meme is going in a stronger, stronger. Uses the box right now. He will get bursted down, and the follow-up knight now will. Whoa! Damage comes down of. The damage is dealt onto Meme. That's a 1-for-1 right now. And what?
That Ochi damage.
That Dark Sphere just. Dark Sphere with the auto attack from BYY just made me say what? That burst onto Nage is insane.
Oh yeah, Nage actually has no magic resist at the moment, only relying on that Zhonya's Hourglass and his mobility to survive, and Ochi managed to get the set. That was just a Dark Sphere and auto attack, right?
Yes. Wow, I mean,
that must have been like at least a 600 damage Dark Sphere.
Yeah, my mind lagged when that happened because it just got wiped off the face of the earth. But yeah, I have to give it to Hashi for just having so much damage right now. He has 880 AP compared to Nage's 385.
So yeah, that is actually because of that Baron buff and because of the Dragon buff. Dragon giving him 6% extra ability power, and Rabadon's Death Cap giving him an additional 30% ability power, which is just stacking up right now.
Yeah, objectives are stacking up for them. So, I mean, I can see right now that the only thing that Team Diamond can do to try and get back into this game is to split push with Ethan and try to counteract the siege that are coming out of GameX War Gods.
They need to get a pick onto Ochi, that's for sure. Ochi, so much damage right now. Once Ochi dies, I feel like if they manage to kill Ochi while separating JLC and Scale from the fight, that's a win for Diamond. However, it's pretty unlikely that will happen.
Ooh, there's a hook onto Meme. Will they engage? Ooh, there's the flash and follow-up CC coming out of JLC. Meme super low. Again, Ochi with the last hit. Now Nage will forced to use his Zhonya's right now. He will die immediately onto BYY. And that is a 2-for-0, 3-for-0 exchange in favor of Team War Gods. And this might be the game.
That's game.
That's game. Wow.
2-0 coming in for War Gods. They will walk away with this victory.
Wow. Team War Gods. So. Wow. I was just. Overall, that was just insane damage coming out of Ochi and BYY. And I guess the reason why Team War Gods also got that victory is because they got the. I guess. They got the mind games out of Team Diamond, and they got the swap lanes.
Yes. So Diamond once again, like in game 1, they had a pretty good lead early game. They had a pretty good advantage coming into that mid game. However, once again, they couldn't compete with that War Gods synergy, that War Gods rotations.
Yes. Wow. And also, well, of course, I just want to point out in the early game they were able to farm up JLC. And
JLC. That was a really good lane swap. Perfectly executed for JLC. JLC, even though it was a 1v2 lane swap, he managed to still keep ahead in CS.
Yes, and I can see right now the end game stats. GSD, please break it down for us.
So yeah, we do see that once again. We were talking about how far ahead Ochi and BYY were, and we take a look at their gold. 8.6k for Ochi compared to that 12.2k for Nage. So that is 6k gold advantage already just in that mid lane.
Yeah, also I guess one of the questionable plays coming out of Team Diamond was that Ethan.
Yes, that AP Nidalee was not that effective.
Yeah, I think they should have opted for the split push Nidalee and just pressured out of the lanes, which actually was good for them because Team War Gods has opted for that clash type of composition.
Yes.
And like you've said, Team Diamond has opted for the split push type of composition, but they didn't opt to go for that because of the AP Nidalee.
Once again, on paper, Diamond had a really strong team fight. Team comp. I really like their team comp. However, they just weren't able to execute it properly, and it's pretty disappointing for me.
Yeah. Also, the teleports were a bit questionable.
Teleports were pretty questionable.
Yeah. And the follow-up, yes. Right. So
however, we do need to compliment War Gods. War Gods did play extremely well this.
Yeah. I guess they outmaneuvered Team Diamond right there. And that was game 2 of the best of 2 series from War Gods versus Diamond. That's a 2-win for War Gods, giving them the 3 points already in this GPL match. And yeah, wow, I have to applaud War Gods for that very assuring victory for game 1 and game 2. But comments also to Diamond because it wasn't an easy match for War Gods. Diamond had good plays onto them,
Yeah.
and it looked like they were about to get the side of the game onto them. But then again, War Gods just came out on top.
Yes, so definitely really good play by both teams. And let's take a look at the schedule, as there are more games coming up tonight.
Yes.
We do see that after this best of 2 series, shortly after this break, we will have a Bangkok Titans versus Aces Fate, duking it out in a best of 2 series.
Yes. Alright, again guys, we would like to invite you to join the PGS Shift even after the game has ended. That's the PGS Shift. This is GTalk ID 171-888-11. Again, that's 171-888-11 for the, I guess, post-game analysis.
Yes, so yeah, we do have several pro players in the Rift currently who will be discussing that game. So if you want to take the time to listen to what the pros have to say about that game, be sure to join.
Yes, and that's about it for the Garena Premier League 2015 Week 2, Day 2. Again, I am GS Asarai with an I. Here with me is...
And I'm GS Neep, and
we're signing off.
yes.